everybody, and welcome back to yet another episode of The Gloving Paradigm, where I'm your host Peter, aka LPD, to be the cringiest glover on YouTube.
That was so terrible, I think you gave me cancer!
One winner later.
So what is it this week that I want to go over? Well, as you guys can see upon my shot, is the holiday season that is pretty much coming up right around the corner. You know, the time where now they're even skipping Halloween and just wanting to go straight to Christmas. Shows you what they care more about. So, in the spirit of the holidays, because, you know, there's some sociological expectation that content creators do something like this for the holidays, I would rather just do what I'm going to do for this episode as a way to help the gloving community support other members of the gloving community, because that is a thing. So, yep, this episode is going to be a holiday shopping list, a little wish list. Now, I feel like a lot of glovers would like if somebody were to get them a Christmas present that's related to gloving. And obviously not just lights, because that's just kind of like a given. However, I will say this though, if you're somebody who knows somebody who wants to get into gloving but you don't know where to go get what kind of lights for them, I have this wonderful little episode over here that you guys can go check out. I did a really good extensive knowledge on and research on those lights, so go ahead and check them out. I will certainly say that those prices that you're going to see on there are at the time of the recording, so definitely double check the websites when you go look up those lights. But if you need a quick rundown of which companies to look up, you got amazing lights, you got futuristic lights, you got LED glows, you also have Throw lights, because it is a company, whether how people feel about it or not, it's still a company. And of course there is a secondary market where you can buy lights as well. The person's named Kat, and I can definitely tell you if you go on to Glover's Lounge, they will be able to find his information really easily. I will also try to have that in the description below so you guys have that option for bulb type chips if you want to go that route as well. However, I really feel like that's just not really necessary. But I will certainly say that if you know somebody who's already a glover who has plenty of lights and stuff like that, you might not know what to get them. But it's okay. That's why I'm here for you. Because I know what most people would like. And taking any time out of your day to get these products will certainly help. Another thing I need to stress right now, because I know it's probably going to come up. No, this episode is not sponsored by any of the companies or anybody who I reviewed their or mentioned their products on this episode, because that's not the thing that happens on this channel, because I guess I'm not legitimate enough, even though I've been doing this for 3 years now. Yeah.
Why?
Oh. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out in terms of a kind of product that you can get for any of your glover friends or anyone who wants to get into gloving besides just lights is, ironically enough, backlighting and background lighting. Now, I know a lot of people will be like, you said no lights. Well, I meant chips, okay? Most of the time, they either already have chips, and again, go check out the episode I mentioned earlier if you need to find chips to buy them. Okay? But another key component when it comes to glovers, especially if they usually stay at home and record their light shows at home, we do need some level of backlighting to kind of help with the visual effects that we're trying to go for with our gloves, because a lot of people do not like I like to call them blackout shows, or a lot of people just call them, all dark shows or stuff like that, which is, I don't know, I like blackout. Blackout is just a perfect term for that, because it's literally all the lights are turned off except for the ones on your fingers. And that's how it used to be done way back in the day, but our mentalities have changed because people want to see your hand positions and see what you're doing with your fingers, as well as what your lights are giving off in terms of the visual effect. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
However, it isn't just simply going out and buying a light bulb. I kind of want to give you some ideas to buy on these certain products, because they add a level of variety and allows some customizable ability. Customization. That's the word I'm looking for. Figured it out. However, like I said, it's not just go buy them a simple colored bulb and call it a day, because sometimes they want to change up how their background looks so it kind of fits the setting and the theme that they're going for their light show videos. So yeah, you can start very simply with just buying any of the LED bulbs that you would see on the market, anywhere from Amazon, Walmart, or anything like that. They're anywhere from like $7 to like $20. You can even get them at Home Depot. My recommendation is definitely get them one that comes with a remote like this, because then they have all the different colors that they can change and customize there. And a few of those also will have a particular little color changing setup as well, in terms of configuration that they can do as well. I highly suggest doing that just because it allows for some versatility, which is the other word I was looking for them to use. Now, there are a couple other ones. You can even give them the motion reaction, the sound reactive party lights that you probably see at like your Family Dollar or any convenience store of that nature, like even CVS Pharmacy, I'm sure has a couple of them if you want to go check that out. I'm not entirely sure, but that is something like that kind of store will have these kind of lights. I'm sure you guys have seen them. They're like
5 minutes later.
Get them something like this, a little Polaroid party light that has a speaker on it, a sound reactive. That's something very typical that I've seen a lot of people do in terms of a present for a Glover, because it does give them a sound reactive light and it also acts as a good backlight. I have plenty of videos that show that. Another thing that it's not necessarily a light, but something that I've seen more and more Glovers start to gravitate towards, and that's a backdrop sheet. Kind of like a green screen, the little sheets that they use for green screens. But I've seen people use either black ones or white ones when it comes to their gloving videos, depending on how they want to go about it. Do you need to get both white and black? No, I would say give them white at least, because if anything else fails, at least they can just have the light in front of them and not behind them with the sheet, But a backdrop sheet is something that a lot of people will also recommend. Now, I definitely hear some people be like, they can just put up a bed sheet. Yeah, but bed sheets also wrinkle really easily, and so when you see that doesn't look as pretty, just want to point that out. And of course, these are things that you can find on Amazon. They're a little bit up there, about like $40-50 on average, but I would certainly say it's a big investment for them. That would be a huge thing for them as well. And lastly but not least, there is a very particular set of lights that I want to talk about, because they're really, really cool. I really, really like them, and this is something that I even have on my wish list, because it's actually what I would like to work with. So there's a lovely little company that we have that's up and coming right now in the gloving community, known as Glow LEDs, which if you have not heard of Glow LEDs yet, I would be shocked because of how prevalent they are talked about in the community right now. But without further ado, there is a very particular product that they have called Glow Strings. V2, I think, is what they're on. I think they're on version 2 right now. These are really, really cool lights. I will even show you with a video right here. Just watch it as I'm talking. But these lights add a level of customization and versatility with different modes, programming, things of that nature within the light itself. Not only that, but the color saturation that these bulbs are able to give off. I feel like these would add enough variety that if you wanted to get them one particular set of lights that would last them, or would be the most versatile, would be these, because they are allowed to change so many things, and then you can even have all of them on just for that simple light aesthetic that background lighting needs, especially when it comes to light shows. So if you're thinking of anyone to buy, my recommendation would definitely be the Glow Strings. And if you're able to get them the backdrop sheet, then there you go. You set up the perfect way for them to make probably the best background that I've seen in a good while. Do you have to? No, there are other alternatives, but I would just certainly say that is like my ideal one. But I mean, I've gotten away with the little party lights that you buy at the dollar store. It's okay. So the next part I want to talk about is pretty simple. Okay. So again, not sponsored by anybody, but Glow LED has different casings, and that's been a huge resurgence recently within the community because we kind of been left without the customization that we once had back in the day. Colored casing was a pretty huge thing, especially during the bulb era of gloving, because you were able to actually change some colors. And not only that, when it came to like color diffusers, which we'll get into, you were actually able to change the tint of your lights, which was something that was actually rather desired for a lot of people. And I actually like the idea of that being available at times, but that's just me. However, Glow LED has a wide variety of casings that you can go with. Now, I do want to break these down. There are glow skins and glow casings. Glow casings are just casings. The bulb sticks outside of the casing, therefore you can put any diffusers on those. I like those a lot because I use different diffusers. I like different shapes of diffusers, so to me that's something that I would highly want. However, there is another casing that they have called glow skins. Now, glow skins is actually a casing that you stick the light into, and it covers the entire light, bulb included. This is a casing idea that spawned from people using the old Orbit Light Show casings that they made for their lights back in the day. But since the lights have gotten smaller enough, they were actually able to stick them in the casing without the bulb sticking outside of it, even though it had a little hole in it. This is what sparked this whole idea of glow skins, because now the light is being refracted throughout the entire casing, therefore making the light look bigger and a better diffusion process overall. These are massively huge in the community right now because it adds variety. It adds customizations that people have been wanting for a while. It allows them to make their own unique glove sets that they don't have to feel like they're following everybody else, because that's kind of one of the things that a lot of people were complaining about, is that they feel like they were just cookie cutter glovers because of that. Well, not anymore. You can actually change up your casings. Not only that, glow skins also comes in multiple colors as well, which so you can actually have the wonderful tint setup that we used to have back in the bulb era. I want to break this down real quick so people can understand something. When it comes to choosing between frosted and clear skins in particular, or any diffuser in this fashion, but we're going to focus on glow skins for this case. So when it comes to these two particular variations of glow skins, we are talking about how to diffuse the light, how to diffuse the color blend and things like that. Now, if you have a frosted bulb, which yes, they do come frosted, or a clear bulb, this is my rule of thumb. You don't have to exactly do this, and most people don't follow this, but this is my rule of thumb because this is how I understand light diffusion and color blending when it comes to these lights, especially progs. Not as much as bulbs, because usually bulbs come with a frosted bulb, but there are clear bulbs out there that I still don't really think you need to worry as much, because again, if you watch my chip differentials episode, I go into great detail of how that works. But if you have a clear bulb on a prog, my recommendation is definitely going to be the frosted. It's because you need that level of frost to actually really blend your colors into a much more, it helps blend your colors into a more solidified, saturated color and makes it much more clean. There's a thing called spotlighting, or solar flaring as I have heard it before. I also heard it called light flaring as well, but I usually go with spotlighting. And what spotlighting is that when you actually look at a light and it points at your hand, you will actually see 3 different color diodes showing up, usually red, green, blue. That's known as spotlighting because it's not diffusing and blending the colors as well. It is literally just projecting them out. Now, if you're asking me why do people want clear bulbs over frosted, or if they want any clear diffusers over frosted diffusers, I should say, it's because it's when you see a clear diffuser move about, it's like looking through a thing of glass that has that color. It's very clear but crisp, that little transparent part. As with frosted, it's not. It's that nice glow that you would see, that soft glow texture to it. However, like I said, with spotlighting, that is a major thing, and that's something I try to avoid as much as possible, so I like my frosted. Little pro tip, if you're doing a recording Frosted on frosted is actually the optimal way to do a recording with, because then it's not blasting the camera so much with light. It diffuses enough that it actually keeps the color palette pure, but dims it enough so the camera does not feel like they're being blasted, because yeah, you do get videos where it's like The other thing I also want to point out that also adds a level of variety and customizations are decals, which yes, Glow LEDs also carries that, but I've seen other third-party people do this as well. Decals also add a nice little layer, so you don't have to ask them which one they want, just buy them any which one they want. Like, you can get like plenty of sheets of different varieties, you know, X's, hearts, you know, chevrons, circles, things of that nature, different shapes. Give them, I'm pretty sure they're pretty cheap. You guys will be seeing the prices up here on the screen. But yes, decals is another great thing that actually goes on top of casings, whether it is glow casings or glow skins and things like that. You know, so definitely want to consider that.
Later.
Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, one briefly, is batteries. Batteries is always going to be a welcome gift for any glover out there, no matter what, because we always need fresh batteries. Whites also fit in that category as well, but I'm pretty sure you guys can understand where you can buy your whites at these various different companies. Just understand what glove size that they actually need before you actually buy them, so you can actually get the proper size. Because I can certainly tell you it's happened a number of times where I've seen people be like, oh, I'm so grateful that they bought me these gloves. It's just not the right size. But a quick breakdown of battery sizes when it comes to the gloving community depends on their chip. So if you are dealing with much older chips like the iNovas, they use 2016 batteries. Yes, you can stick a 2032 in a iNova like battery, or iNova like light chip. Yeah, iNova chip, as I should say. That's pretty much what you need to understand. Okay, but that's pretty much the Nova, you know, type of chips. Then you have coin chips, or coin size chips. Now these are the ones that a lot of people are kind of confused on, because these typically most people will get 1620s, but these can also use 1616 batteries. I've seen that before. That's actually been advertised on some of the Amazing Light product overview videos, so just keep that in mind. Now, one thing I will definitely say is that if you're getting batteries for a person who is a Spectra owner, meaning that they have the E-Light Spectras, 2020 batteries is another necessity, because that's what the Bluetooth hub uses as its battery source. I've heard other people use different batteries to get it to work just fine, but I'm just letting you know what the recommended specs are for that particular product. And lastly, but not least, you also have nano chips, which use 1225 batteries. Okay, so they're the smallest chip that we have on the market, and those are pretty much the smallest battery size that we're able to use when it comes to that. Okay, but if they have some weird battery size thing, definitely double check to see what it is, but it's not really that difficult to figure out which kind of battery that they use. I mean, if you look at the battery, it actually tells you the battery size on there. You'll see CER 2016, 2032, 1620, 1616, 1225, things like that. You'll actually see the nomenclature on the battery itself a majority of the time. But yeah, Glow LEDs sell those as well, so you can always go there. They also have, you know, little battery dispenser things. They're really, really cool. I definitely recommend getting that, because, you know, we do need to store our batteries much more properly, and those are really cool to use. And I've heard a lot of people say that they love them. So the other thing I want to point out is diffusers, because I mentioned this earlier with the casings and the glow skins, but now we're going to talk about the diffusers themselves. Again, Glow LEDs has a very wide variety of different diffusers you can use, but they have one in particular that I want to talk about that I really, really like, and it's the diffuser caps. And that those cap diffusers, I think is how they word it. So what these are pretty much a very interesting diffuser that you stick on the light, and you stick the light in the glove, and then you're able to twist on these different decals onto the light itself, so that when you're pointing them forward, they will see these decals. Okay, this is another level of versatility and variety that not only can you just get in the cap diffusers themselves, but then you can buy them different variations of caps that they can put on there as well. They're really not that expensive, and it's something I feel like they would really, really enjoy if you are somebody who's trying to buy something for a glove that you know. I certainly like them. It's one of the things I like to do with diffusers anyways. But you also have the classic shape diffusers, you know, cube diffuser, pyramid diffuser, popcorn diffusers, dome diffusers, cylinder diffusers, blah, 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 blah. those are always great. You can buy those too. However, there is one particular diffuser that I do want to talk about, and that is the wiffle ball diffusers that Glow LEDs has as well. Now these are different because the way that they operate is similar to how diffuser caps work, but not necessarily. So with wiffle ball diffusers, they get to use a darker material to actually make this shape with a bunch of holes in it. So when you stick your light in it, your light is pretty much covered, but light escaping throughout all the holes. And this adds this really, really cool effect with the lights that a lot of people are really starting to gravitate towards too. I really hope to see more different variations of these in action. You know, like it'd be really cool to see like a pyramid one made in that fashion. Just saying.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But those are something that they're also highly sought after. I definitely recommend getting those if you need to, and they pretty much fit on any light bulb that you have out there. So kudos on that. But other than that, that's pretty much all for my episode. I certainly hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say in this one. I know it's a little long, but you know what? There's a lot of products out there that you can get for your friendly Glover person. Yeah, you guys know where I'm going with it. But other than that, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say in this episode. If you have any questions or you guys need any recommendations from me, you can always ask me. You have the various outlets on social media, which are all linked in the description below. Plus, we have a comment section down below on YouTube that you guys can use. It's there for a reason, you know. It really helps me out. But I will certainly help you with any recommendations that if you guys need any. I certainly say if you are just not sure which one to get, just get batteries and whites. We'll never say no to those. Refresh packs are a beautiful thing. Just make sure you're getting the right size and you're getting the right battery size as well. Really not that hard. Just definitely ask them, hey, what type of chip do you have? If they tell you they have a nano chip, a coin chip, or a Nova chip, then you can pretty much know what type of battery you need. But I'm certainly hope you guys got a lot of information out of it. If you want to help me out in any way, there's the best way you can do it, which is absolutely for free, which is liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel, which helps out with the algorithm, because then people will see it more often when people do all the little clicks and things like that. But if you also want to help me out with making better content, you have the wonderful opportunity to donate to me a one-time donation on Ko-Fi. Yes, I have a Ko-Fi. It's there set up for one-time donations. You can do as little as $1. Any amount helps though. So yes, please donate to my Ko-Fi so I may continue to listen to lo-fi.
Okay, you need to let that
Oh
go.
my God, no one cares. It's so boring every day.
Yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say again. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching / listening. But I am your host, Peter, aka LPD Dubuque, and I'll see you guys all next week.